Hi. Today I'm thinking about disasters and tragedies, the way it affects us, how it affects us, what do we do with it when it affects us. It can be very personal on a very personal level. It could be global and it could be both. Because something that's global really doesn't not affect us at all. I mean, it's just part of our lives. We hear it on the media all the time. And so, how do we make sense of this? Is there any sense to be made of this? How do we deal with it? I know from my own life, I have certainly dealt with tragedy, with difficulty, life threatening illnesses. I was even run down by an SUV once, could have taken my life. It didn't. And that's another question. It's like, who survives and who doesn't? And why? There are so many questions, and certainly to try and answer all of that is probably can't do that, okay? But I can share with you from my own experience, having dealt with personal and global tragedies that have affected me in many ways. Um, where do I go? Where do I gain insight, strength, ways to deal with? And if we try to do with it from a strictly material, physical point of view, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work because our mental capacities just don't make sense of it. We just can't make sense of what's going on in the world. And it just seems so senseless. So where do we go? Well, I remind myself that I'm a soul having a human experience just like every other human being on this planet. Each of them, each human being inhabited by a soul. A soul that is intrinsically and inexplicably and completely involved with spirit, with God, whom I call spirit. I've got to know that there's a divine plan that overrides every rational thought that I could have. I've got to know that I can come from that perspective, gaining my strength from the source of all strength, from the source of all solutions, from the source of everything that we have, everything that we are. I need to know that I can talk to God, that I can pray with spirit. I say with spirit very, very pointedly because that's what it is. Some of us tend to think that we approach spirit from a separate perspective, a separateness, when in reality, we are a part of the whole. We are a part of spirit. Spirit is a part of us. There is just no getting away from that, as far as I can tell. And so I turn to prayer. And you know what? It's really important that you build up a kind of prayer bank account, in a sense, to be a little crass about it. Prayer bank account means that you get in the habit of praying, that you have a spiritual practice, something that brings your awareness to the existence of spirit within you all the time, that it is never separate from you. You can imagine that it's separate, you can claim that it's separate, but the reality, from my perspective, is that there is no separation. And so we just need to turn our awareness to spirit, our awareness to prayer, to being able to pray, which is really a dialogue with spirit. It's having a conversation with spirit. And so we put into that awareness, that perspective with spirit, what it is we need to pray about. And if you can't think of how to put it into words, you don't have to. Your intention is what's so important. It's your intention to create this dialogue, to say to spirit, in a sense, look, I need you. I need your help right now. And it can come from just that simple a perspective to a very long, flowery kind of speech, if you like. But that is certainly not necessary. What it is a simple turning your awareness to spirit, saying, I need your help. I expect your help because I'm asking for it and I know that you respond to me. now as always. And then, of course, what you have to do is listen for the answer, because so many times we decide, that, well, we made our prayer, but, it's not going to work. But it does work. It always works. What you put out is what you'll get back. When your intention is to pray, when your intention is to reach for Spirit and to accept Spirit's solution for you, it may not be exactly the one that you think it ought to be, but you need to be open to that, because Spirit knows best, kind of thing, okay? So in these trying times, these difficult periods of our lives, and the lives of so many in this world, on this planet, turn your attention for yourself and for them, because that's something you can do. You can always contribute that positive input from your own awareness, of Spirit. That Spirit is not only within you, it's within everyone, and whoever needs it. Our intention is that they receive and are open to the guidance, the maintenance, the sustaining quality of Spirit. Know that God is love. Spirit is within you. The solution is within you through Spirit. And allow Spirit to come up with the answer. I know it works. This week, why don't you try it for yourself? I think you'll find it works quite interestingly for you. Thanks a lot. Come back next week.